Hi, in this video we're going through the arcade business in GTA 5 Online, why you need one, how much it costs, and how to make cabinet loads of money. Hi and welcome back, my name's Dan and I'm an old grumpy gamer. Grand Theft Auto is a truly massive game. Between GTA 5 and the constant updates from Rockstar for GTA Online, there's no shortage of new content and interesting things to do. Join me then as we look at every business in GTA 5 Online, as we go through the Diamond Casino Updates arcade business. Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, we do how-to guides, news and giveaways, so consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay up to date. So first things first, why on earth would you need to buy an arcade? Well, business aside, there are four main reasons. Access to the Diamond Casino Heist. You need the arcade to unlock this set of heists, which can earn you around $6 million, including first-time bonuses, and north of $2.1 million per subsequent heist run. Access to drones. With drone controller, up to 3 of your mates can zip around Los Santos with drones, wreaking havoc wherever you go, which is great for trolling griefers and KD warriors. The Master Control Center, which allows you to control more or less every other type of business in GTA. This is fantastic for resupplies and quickly checking on the status of other businesses in GTA Online. And genuinely passive income. This one more or less speaks for itself. A fully kitted arcade will net you roughly $5,000 per in-game day, or roughly $6,000 per real-world hour. On the real money side of things, the arcade business is similar to the high-end apartments. I mean, there's some passive component, don't get me wrong, but the real money is in the heists, and you can't do them solo. But if you have at least one mate you kick around with regularly, there's reasonable cash to be made. Don't get me wrong, it's not Kyo money, but it still beats Fleecer. So with that in mind, playing with a single experienced friend, and after a few rounds of heists so you can get your head around the preps, the potential earnings are around $1 million per hour, more on Diamond or special event weeks. Of course, that also really depends on your experience, so don't quote me on that one. So let's talk budget. To do anything meaningful in the arcade business, you'll need to be a VIP, a motorcycle club president, or a CEO. Honestly though, you don't want to be doing this as a VIP. There are some serious restrictions and it's a pain in the backside. So realistically, the cheapest option here is becoming an MC club president, and to do that, you first need to have, of course, a motorcycle club setup. The cheapest one you can grab is the Great Chaparral Clubhouse at 200 grand. It's a bit out of the way, but if you're on a budget, this is the one to go for. Once you have the clubhouse set up, you'll need an actual arcade. Once this is unlocked, you can purchase these through the Maze Bank Foreclosures website on your phone, and we have 6 to choose from. Oh, and don't worry about the prices on screen, I picked this up during an event week. Pixel Pete's in Blaze County at $1,235,000. Wonderama, also in Blaze County at $1,565,000. Videogeddon in La Mesa at $1,875,000. The Warehouse in Davis at $2,135,000. Insert Coin in Rockford Hills at $2,345,000. And finally, 8-Bit in Vinewood at $2,530,000. Each of them has the same capacity and facilities. 10 vehicles if you grab the garage, 4 drones if you grab the add-on, 14 games, and a $50,000 safe. So there's no difference there, nor is there any difference in the passive income, making the only real difference travel distance and budget. If you're planning on grinding the heists a lot, then I'd recommend grabbing Videogeddon, which is closest to the casino at about a 2-minute drive, and that's the one I've ended up going with. Next, we have some upgrades. Starting with the decor, you can change the floor and trim. There's a free option, but you can spend up to $470,000 if you want to get really fancy. While you're there, you can also tweak the mural. There's a few different options available. Again, you can leave it as it comes at no additional cost, or you can spend up to $107,000 on the fancier aesthetic. For trim and markings on the arcade floor, you have a few options as well, starting with the free one and working your way through a few different designs right up to this really fancy number for around $165,000. The next aesthetic upgrade is the neon art. Again, there is a free option, but if you're feeling flush, you can step it up a notch with the top option setting you back $320,000. And finally, you can also add high score screens. These add absolutely nothing to the business, but they're a cute flex at $295,000. horsepower. For functional upgrades, you can have the garage at 215,000, which will allow you to store up to 10 regular-ish vehicles. And finally, you can also add personal quarters from 150,000. So you can spawn in at the arcade. And this is really handy if most of your other properties are on the other side of the map, as it can save you a bit of time. Now, if you're wondering about the drone station, master control station, and the arcade machines, we'll get to them in a few moments, but they're 1,460,000, 1,740,000, and up to 5,128,500 respectively. Right, so that's it for actual expenses. There's really a minimum spend of 1,435,000, including your clubhouse and the cheaper arcade, but if you can, a budget of 11,600,000 will get you closer to the casino. Will also get you the machines, drone, master control center, personal quarters, a garage, and of course that includes your CEO's office. Ouch. But at least the daily fees aren't too bad, at only $500 per day plus an extra $50 if you grab the garage. And with that in mind, assuming you don't go nuts on the arcade machines, you'll likely make your money back in the first round of Heist, which will net you and your teammate around $3 million each, including first time bonuses. That's roughly about $6 million in total, and will take around 6 to 10 hours depending on your skill level. So it's still not KO money, but with the drones, additional garage space, the master control station, and of course the modest passive income, it's still worth the cash in my humble opinion. Okay, to get rolling with this one, you'll have to start by catching up with Lester. Head over to the L on the map when you're ready, and that will trigger a cutscene. After that, head somewhere safe and purchase your arcade. And once you've made your purchase, head over to the new facility and head on in. You'll get a fun cutscene with Jimmy, Wendy, and Lester, as well as a bit of a briefing on how the arcade works. Once that's done, head over to your computer. Make sure you're a VIP, CEO, or an MC president. Sit down and log in. You'll be presented with a single option: Start. Click the button and you'll immediately be booted back to the lobby, and Lester will start talking with you, presumably through an earpiece. Listen to it carefully, it is important. Once Lester's finished banging on, head to the marker on the map. Once you get there, Lester will give you someone to chase down. After you've found them, take out the driver and do not blow up the truck. Jump in, fend off any idiots, and then drive the truck back to the arcade and park it around the rear of the building. Once that's done, you'll be dropped out the back of the arcade. Wait a few moments and you'll get a interesting call from Young. It's weird, but still worth listening to. And after a few moments, you'll get a message from Lester. Head back into the arcade and you'll get the next cutscene. As Lester does, he will take you through a few options for the heist, and there's a bit of a back and forth, but the upshot is you have 3 core approaches: aggressive, the big con, and silent and sneaky. Once Lester has finished banging on, you'll be dropped into the arcade basement and be presented with the whiteboard and your first scope out mission. This is the start of the Diamond Casino heist, and it's a fair bit of fun. I won't go through the setups or the actual heist in this video, but there are links to comprehensive guides in the description below. The next thing we can do, budget allowing of course, is to set up the additional bits and pieces for the arcade. Again, this is separate to the heist. To do this, head to the notebook on the table in the basement or the one in your office. Make sure you're an MC president, CEO, or a VIP, then sit down and log on. Starting with the quality of life updates first, click the upgrades button at the top of the screen. Again, budget allowing, we have 2 options. At a whopping $1,740,000, we have the Master Control Center. This is a fantastic addition if you run a biker business, a CEO's business, or a nightclub, because it allows you to set up supply missions and keep an eye on stock levels. You can also use it for sell missions, but don't do that, it's silly. If you're so inclined, the drone station at $1,460,000 will allow you to fly drones all over the local area and give you access to the nano drone in free roam. For the uninitiated, drones are equipped with a taser and explode on command, and they're great for dealing with trolls in those hard to reach places. And for the passive earning side of the business, click on the arcade games button at the top of the screen. You'll notice you already have a couple of machines that come with the arcade out of the box. That'll bring you in around about $3,000 per hour, and honestly, that's not bad for doing literally nothing. As budget allows, you can purchase individual games to fill out your arcade. Once you've purchased every machine to the arcade at a total cost of just under $5,130,000, you'll bring your earnings to around about $6,000 an hour. So doing the figures, purchasing each additional machine will bring you an additional $3,000 per hour, and that means we're looking at around 1,710 hours of in-game time to hit break even, and that is a lot of hours. To give you some perspective, if you played GTA Online as your full-time job, that's 40 hours a week, it would take you around 10 months to recoup your cash. So the machines are a great aesthetic and they're a nice flex, but they are not a great financial investment. So that's it for the core business itself. But before you go, I'd like to go through a couple of quick tips. So first up, like most other businesses, if you're registered as some sort of manager, that's a CEO, VIP, or an MC president to access and manage your arcade, the game assumes you're actively running your business. Now, while the arcade itself can't be rated, other businesses that are running can be. So it's important that if you're not actively working on the arcade's management and you're not doing something that expressly requires you to be a CEO, VIP, or an MC president, then you should retire. This will significantly reduce the chances of having stock stolen or otherwise destroyed while you're not actively managing a business. And finally, AFKing. This is a great way to grind out some of those hours for that purely passive side of the business. If you've not heard the term before, AFK literally means away from keyboard, which is the practice of keeping the game open without actually participating in it. Now, the more experienced of you will know that after about 13 minutes of inactivity, Rockstar will terminate your session and boot you from online, but there's a way around it. If you have an LS Car Meet membership, which you can get for $50,000, you can head to the test track. Once you're in, simply reverse back out, and as you head back up the ramp, you'll be dropped into the action menu. When that pops up, do nothing. Just leave your PC or your console on that screen and your session won't terminate. My standing record for AFKing this way is around 2 days straight. And if you don't have an LS Car Meet membership, you can do something similar at the casino. Head to the ground floor entrance, hop out of your vehicle, return it to storage, walk to the front door, and you'll get an interrupt screen asking you where you want to go. Just leave it there and you won't be booted. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out the video up the top for another business guide or the one down the bottom for some more old Grumpy Gamer goodness. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.